Rutherford, New Jersey. Coming up, we've got what should prove to be a good one, as it'll be the Cleveland Browns taking on the New York Giants. And out a little across the 25 to the 27. They'll run it. Here's the rookie from Ohio State. And he'll be taken down, but not before they work it across midfield. A big chunk on the ground there, 27 yards.
I'm not sure exactly how they would phrase it in their own locker room, but that's a yardage grab right there. To be able to get that amount of yardage on the first play of the game and to change field position to the positive side, you got to love the way they're getting started.
Throwing, Sanders. He gets this into the hands of Judkins. And this time he's able to take it down to the 42. He's already proven to be a factor in the running game on this drive. Now he gets involved in the passing game.
I think what we're seeing here is the modern version of workhorse in the NFL, being able to run it and catch it with equal proficiency.
A give up the middle, Judkins. And he is going to be stopped cold behind the line of scrimmage. Now they're staring at a 3rd and 8. That last play backwards a yard.
They have 3 tight ends in that formation. That's almost a universal sign that they're planning to run the football. But how about the defense there? They met force with force and caused a stack up behind the line of scrimmage and threw him for a loss.
Now Sanders. Oh, this will be incomplete. The rush gets home just as he was letting that go. That could have been worse. Instead, it's 4th down.
I tell you what, that's a veteran play from a guy in his first season in the NFL. A lot of rookies are trying to force something there. He thought better of it, and that was the right decision.
On 4th down, Corey Bojorquez gets set to punt for Cleveland. Back deep is Gunnar Olszewski. And well done here. Now Dart. That's complete to Slayton. Short completion, just 4 yards, and it's 2nd down.
Well, there wasn't much there with that hitch route. They didn't gain what they expected, but sometimes when you call a hitch, you really don't have an alternate to go to. You don't have a second route to throw it to, so sometimes you have to rifle in there and hope for the best.
Now the former Sun Devil, it's Cam Scatterbury. And he's swallowed up right near the line of scrimmage. No gain on the play there, so they're left with a 3rd down and 6.
Early down stuff to put this offense in a precarious position. We know that securing the point of attack, especially against the big-bodied guys in the middle of this D, has got to be priority 1.
Dart from the gun on 3rd down. Work in the middle of the field, and he's got a man complete. 1st down for the Giants as they pick up 12.
I think when they look at their offense, they think to themselves, weapons everywhere, and they want to move the ball around. They want to spread it to different people, but you absolutely know they want to get this man involved as well, and that's what they just did on that play.
In motion, Slayton. 1st down, here's Scatterbury. And up to the 35 before they're able to knock him down. 11 more on that one and another 1st down.
We use the word relentless a lot with guys who are aggressive on the field. In this case, it really fits, doesn't it? How about his ability to break tackles and his feet never stop moving?
Ball up to the 35 now as they come up on 1st and 10. And once again, it's Scatterbury. And this time the yards won't come so easy as they'll, in fact, tackle him behind the line. 2 yards the loss, 2nd and 12. They went with the run-pass option, and I don't know if the option really mattered there because the defense was ready.
So many times you put the defense at a disadvantage because you have those multiple options, but when they read their keys and play it correctly, sometimes the result goes in their favor.
He'll check this one down to Scatterbury. And he'll get up to the 43-yard line. They get 11 back on that one. It leads to 3rd down.
Well, from their point of view, this game could not be starting out much better, could it? Force a punt on defense, and now they're moving it crisply on offense.
Crisply, I like that.
You like that?
Yeah, moving it very, very well. Looks like the defense on their heels a little bit. You put a score in here, long way to go, but you're right, that's a heck of a start.
Yeah, and I think this is where the play caller is looking at his play sheet and saying,
Mason Graham. And they're to drop him for a 6-yard loss, and that will lead to 4th down.
It always helps for a visiting team to come in and set the tone on defense. In fact, when we talked with them prior to the game, they said they wanted this home crowd to feel like they had to hide their valuables when they were in town.
Well, the home crowd quiet now early. See if their offense can take over and get some points on the board. And here's Gillen on now to punt as he gets this one away. It'll be 37 yards there on the punt. And they will take over 1st and 10. Second drive coming up here for Cleveland as they return to the field on offense. Defense got the better of them last series, forcing a punt. See if they make a few changes in the game plan here and try to get points out of this drive. 1st and 10. On the ground, it's Judkins to start the drive. And they get him down, but not before he takes it across the 40-yard line. Give him 13 yards on the opening play of the drive and also give him a 1st down. That O-line, they cleared a big hole there on that run.
The athleticism of offensive lines continues to evolve, and we're seeing it here. Not only are they controlling things right at the line of scrimmage, but they're able to get upfield to get to what we call the 2nd and the 3rd levels. You know, get to the linebacker spot, the secondary spot, getting all the way downfield with their blocking, which helps keep the running back clean.
They'll try to continue that trend here this afternoon.
Consecutive positive runs for him on the last 2 snaps. He certainly appears to be trying to put the offense on his back and just move them down the field, but his number is called. The way he's running it, I keep going back to him.
On play action, here's Shador. Oh, that's into double coverage and intercepted. And the Giants will have the football as this is taken up past the 30. The Giants offense at the line, ready to begin their next drive. The last series for a little disappointing, forced to punt. And now they'll try to do better here and come away with some points as they begin this drive. 1st and 10. 1st down yardage on the first play of the drive, 14 yards.
Yeah, that's a good start to drive number 2. Remember, they had to punt the first time they had it. So maybe a little bit different sense of purpose here, and they start out with a nice gain and a quick 1st down.
Throwing his dart. And they will not get the connection there. It's incomplete.
Normally, he's pretty reliable. Usually catches what's thrown to him. On that play, he simply dropped it.
Second and 10. Throwing his dart. Now they go screen. It's complete. And they went the wrong way there. Losing yardage back at the 43-yard line. 2 yards the loss, and now 3rd and 12.
Time to give a little credit here. That was an excellent read by the guys on the defensive side of the ball.
Oh, you're crediting your defense.
Got to credit them on that one because they tried to fool them, right? Tried to trick them. Ran a screen, and they went to it and smothered it for a loss of yardage.
That's going to be knocked away and incomplete.
Zone coverage there, and they were playing deep. That makes it obviously a little bit harder to run by guys. And that time, there's not much of a window to get the ball in there, and it winds up incomplete.
On 4th down, here's Jamie Gillen on to punt. Going to be a 43-yard punt, just a single yard on the return. And the Browns will take over with a 1st and 10 deep in their own territory. Looking to put a drive together. They'll start out here with a jet sweep. Oh, and this one, and they need to go back to the drawing board. He's going to be swallowed up right away. Brought down on the play by Kayvon Thibodeau.
Let's just make this one succinct. Nice job there. All 11 guys on defense diagnosing the jet sweep and putting it down.
To throw is Sanders. Now he's going to step up and run. And he's taken down, but not before he gets this across the 25-yard line. Opted to run for it. The decision a good one. Picking up the first, getting 14 yards on the scramble.
Hadn't met a quarterback yet that didn't enter the league with a massive chip on his shoulder if he wasn't a first-round pick. They want to show the league that they made a big mistake. Determined to get the first down there, no hesitation at all to tuck it and go. I bet he would have tried to run through their entire defense if it meant reaching that marker.
7 yards on the pickup there, and it'll leave him with a 2nd and 3.
A 7-yard pickup brings up 2nd and 3.
No score after 1 on EA Sports. The start of the second quarter, and it's the Browns in control of the football. From the 34-yard line, here's 2nd down and 3. To throw now, here's Sanders. Now he'll tuck this and run. Opted to run for it. The decision a good one. Picking up the first, getting 14 yards on the scramble.
Evident there that he learned his lesson from the last drive. No way he was going to force a throw that time. When nothing broke open, kept it, and ended up running for a first down himself.
This offense finding its legs now. Here's another 1st and 10. Sanders to throw. A throw on the run, but that's going to be incomplete.
This could be the start of a nice stand from this defense now after getting walked backwards on this drive. Come through with another one here, and you have them staring at a 3rd and long, and that puts the defense in a position to dictate to the offense.
Now a 2nd and 10. On the handoff, this is Judkins. And he's down right around midfield after a gain of 2, maybe 3. Not much on that run, Charles.
No, that's exactly the way to execute a run blitz there. They guessed correctly that they would move the ball on the ground, honed in on it, and stopped them. Marked that down for a win in the defense's column.
From the midfield stripe, they'll look to throw. And the giant rush gives home as down he goes. Dexter Lawrence able to bust free and get to the quarterback. Everybody was coming on the blitz that time, and they got home.
And you know the expression, hat on a hat, in terms of blocking, trying to keep your quarterback protected? Well, if you don't have enough hats, that's the end result. Your quarterback goes down, and sometimes he goes down hard.
On 4th down, the punt team is on as this is sent away. And no one there to stop it. Hits at the 8, but it carries all the way into the end zone for a touchback. The possession switching back to the New York Giants. We've seen both of these offenses still sort of in that figuring things out phase, but I suspect some action on the scoreboard soon as they start out here 1st and 10. Looking to put a drive together. Throwing from the gun here, Dart. Over the middle, taken in by Neighbors. And he's got it past the 30 before he's hit and dropped. Solid way to start the drive. 13 yards, picking up the first.
A promising sign there from an offense that hasn't done a whole lot to this point. Nice job to locate the open receiver. And it's good yardage and a first down to open the drive.
They'll fake the give. Now it's Dart. He'll dump this off to Scatterbury.
That's a good job there by the corner. We do talk about this a lot, that a lot of corners see their job as simply covering receivers. Tackling isn't everyone's thing. But in this case, he came up quickly and made a nice, sure tackle.
Here's a 2nd and 8. Off the bootleg, it's Dart. Oh, he's got a man wide open, complete. And he's going to be out of bounds, but not before he takes it inside the 40. 28 yards the gain there on the catch and run.
That crossing route is so effective when you hit it just right because you get a guy on the move, and then we see the end result there.
Nightmare for the defense. They got a guy with a full head of steam.
Not only does he catch it, but he picks up additional yardage after it.
They go play action with Dart. To the right side and intercepted. Picked up by Denzel Ward. Oh, some strong running. And the Browns are going to get the football here at their own 40-yard line. The Cleveland offense ready to go. They'll start at the 40, so great starting field position following the interception. That's taken in. Isaiah Bond. Yeah, that's good for a gain of 6. And it's second down. Yeah, he went in route there from the slot for the completion.
Love how he runs his routes because it's all setting up your defender. Give him a little something one way, take it the other way. Head and shoulder fake. Sometimes you make one step to the outside, then break it inside. Really well-run route.
Sanders setting up a screen for Jenkins. Yeah, he's going to be out of bounds, but not before he takes it inside the 40. Just what the Browns needed there. Good for a gain of 17.
We can talk all we want about football being a game of strength and brawn. It's also a game of mismatches, and they're trying to create one there, getting it to their back out of the backfield to make a bigger play.
As we often say, get it to him in space, let him use his leg.
Yeah, if he can get a matchup against a linebacker or maybe a defensive end dropping out in his own blitz, he's going to win that battle just about every time.
Just a yard on the pickup there, and it'll bring up a 2nd and 9.
Yeah, things were pretty stacked up there in the middle of the line. A lot of bodies, not much space. I think ultimately he was fortunate to get anything out of that run.
They'll stay on the ground with Judkins. They'll be brought down on the 30-yard line after a gain of 6.
This drive is turning into an extended one, and the guy carrying the ball, he's becoming more like a body blows guy. Every carry is putting some damage on the defense. So after a while, I'm not too sure how many guys are going to want to run up and tackle him.
Here's Sanders. Able to find the open man. That's complete. And he is into the end zone. Touchdown, Cleveland. Jerry Jeudy, 29 yards. And the Browns post the first points of the ball game as they take the lead here in this second quarter. The call is to go for 1 and kick the extra point. It's up and through to make it 7-0 Browns.
Makes the score Browns 7, Giants nothing.
The kickoff team on the field now as they will send this one away. And he won't quite make it to the 25. And New York set to take the field. But not an ideal way to end their previous drive. They threw the interception, Charles, after they had built up some momentum. They were moving the football, but something to at least build on for this offense as they run back out here.
Yeah, you're right about that. Up until that last play, everything was working pretty well for this offense, gaining chunks of yardage, getting first downs, really making a push for the end zone, and looked like they had a nice rhythm going. Now you got to have a short memory here. Don't focus on the interception. Focus on what came before it and get back to it.
We talk about defenders, specifically linebackers, keeping their eyes in the right spot. He had that eye down the entire time.
And you know that's not easily done because they throw a lot of misdirection at you. They try and fool you and get your eyes in the wrong place. But you're right about that one. He correctly figured that one out and made a really nice play.
The goal of the wide receiver screen is get enough blockers in front to create a wall and let him pick his spot to run the football. How about the defense there, swarming to it and not allowing that to happen? Did not let him get downfield.
The offense on third down, just 1 for 3 thus far. This will be 3rd and 6. Throwing, dart. That is caught. And he'll be taken down, but not before they work it across midfield. And they pick up 25 as they convert on 3rd.
That's really good play design right there, and it's one that comes down to the offensive line. It's a deep in route, but it's only going to work if that line gives you time in the pocket to wait for the route to develop. Mission accomplished there as they pick up the first down.
Trying to find a lane, but instead he'll get back to the line of scrimmage, and no more. Just a yard on the first down carry, so it's 2nd and 9. To throw is Dart. On the RPO, he'll keep it himself. All that gets him is just a yard, and now it's 3rd down.
At the 45-yard line. A 1-yard pickup brings up 3rd and 8.
They'll be in search of 8 yards here as they hope to convert the first down. Dart. He's going to let this go. Back of the end zone. And this one dropped in the end zone. Looked like a touchdown, but not to be. And now it's 4th down.
That's some good closing speed there defensively, because that looked open for a minute. But that's great work with the ball in the air. Never gave up. Converged on his man and broke the play up.
He's been a busy man here in this first half as he gets it away. Cleveland offense making their way out. And not an abundance of time remains on the clock, Charles, but you would think more than enough to try to extend this lead before intermission.
And when you're talking about extending the lead, I think you're talking about aiming for the end zone, because there is plenty of time for that. The fallback is to get 3. But in your mind, you put 6 on the board right before the half. That's a heck of a dagger and great momentum to carry into the locker room.
Brian Burns. It'll go as a loss of about 8 as he gets in there to drop it.
They snapped the ball backed up inside their own 10. Now they're backed up even further. They can thank their coverage for that. They called the zone, and they were aggressive enough to deny an early window, and that gave their rushers a chance to get to the pocket.
Back to throw. Sanders. This short pass into the hands of Njoku. The Giants going to go ahead and use the first of their timeouts as they stop it here with just under 40 ticks to go in this first half. We'll see where they go for this play call. Obviously tough in this spot, backed up. Now on 3rd and long, they'll look to throw. Open man is Bond. He's got it. Now the Giants will use the second of their 3 timeouts, as the clock will stop with just under 30 seconds to go in the first half. On 4th down, on is Corey Bojorquez to punt. And a fair catch called for and made just inside the 35-yard line. A 40-yard punt, no return. And it'll be Giant football, 1st and 10. They come up 1st and 10 at their 35-yard line. From the shotgun, a throw for Dart. This one is Slayton over the middle. The Giants going to burn their 3rd and final timeout as they stop it with 19 seconds to go in half number 1.
1st and 10 at the 48-yard line.
To throw now, Dart. This is caught by Robinson. And he will go out right near the 35-yard line. 1st down for the Giants as they pick up 12.
1st down. 1st and 10 at the 35-yard line.
Looking to throw, dart. Throw out wide is incomplete.
Well, they've been back on their heels a little bit here in this drive, but a chance to exhale just a little bit there with incompletion on first down. Now they have to gear up, try and get 2 more stops, and escape this drive.
So on second down, the field goal unit is on here as they try to get 3 before half. Gano's kick is good, and they are on the board, but still trailing. It's 7-3. Well, still trailing here, but they do get the late field goal. Now their defense will try to keep this score right where it is heading into the locker room.
Yeah, and trailing at the break, you obviously don't want to go in off of a negative play. Give them credit for that one. Finding a way to put points on the board, give them any type of a spark, anything to build off of as they try and plan a comeback.
So time it up for a kickoff here. 5 seconds remaining in this first half. And not wanting to risk anything here late in the half, he'll just take a knee and they'll bring the football out to the 25. The Browns going to go on offense one final time in this first half. And with 5 seconds to go, this will likely be our final play. Likely time for one final snap as they start out 1st and 10. A final shot before break. Sanders. He's going to loft it deep right sideline. That is incomplete. First half in the books. You're watching the NFL on EA Sports. The Giants set to get the football, and they trail here as we get back underway in the second half. And able to take it past the 25 and up to the 28-yard line. Here's the Giants offense now getting set to start the 3rd quarter. This offense, Charles, had a strong first half throwing the football, at least in terms of yardage, but that hasn't translated so far on the scoreboard as they begin the 3rd quarter here, trailing and looking for a little momentum.
Yeah, you're right about that because, you know, let's face it, in the first half, most of their focus was in the passing game. And to their credit, resulted in a healthy amount of yardage. So I would think that at halftime.
Now he breaks free in the middle of the field. Touchdown, Giants! Darius Slayton, 71 yards. And the Giants come right out of the locker room and score here in the opening minute of the 3rd quarter.
As a fan, is there anything prettier than a well-executed post route?
No, it's a thing of beauty, especially when it's done like that for a touchdown.
The throw, the catch, and how about the run after to get it to the end zone?
Extra point try, good by Gano. And the lead is now 10-7. Gano now following the touchdown here to kick it away. Dances by him. And a good return as he'll be stopped just shy of the 30-yard line. Here's the Browns now. They get set for their first possession of the 3rd quarter. And they'll be working from behind now following the touchdown a moment ago on the opening drive of the half.
I think the guys right now, as they go out on offense, they're zeroing in on one big key. They don't have to do anything differently just because they're down on the scoreboard now. The intent, still the same in what they plan to do on offense.
Well, he was hit as he threw it there, and that one winds up incomplete.
Maybe a little frustration starting to creep in. The offensive line hasn't done a great job of protecting him in this game, and there he was, hit again as he threw it.
Yeah, another time on his backside, probably starting to get a little frustrated.
Got to keep his composure. Can't let the defense know that they're getting to him.
An inside run with Jenkins. And he'll be tackled right on the chalk at a 45. 77 yards for him on the ground now as he has been terrific here this afternoon.
That's pretty much meat and potatoes right there, wasn't it? Just go right at him and let your big horse charge up the middle. Not too fancy there, was it?
Nothing fancy at all, challenging that defense. And on that go-around, the offense won the challenge. And he's going to get this past the 50 and into Giant territory. Just what you want on a first down run. Call it 8 yards, and it's 2nd and 2.
Well, if you like the guys who run the ball, you're enjoying watching this. But the other guys, especially the defense coordinator, trying to figure out an answer on how to slow down the running game, I think maybe starts to call more blitzes, because you can call run blitzes in order to try and get more people to the point of attack.
And a good push up front, and he's able to navigate his way down inside the 30.
Big yardage there for the Browns, 18.
Boy, where would these guys be without his performance on the ground? That puts him over 100 yards now for the afternoon, and I tell you, he seems to be getting stronger as the day goes along.
On first down, here's Jenkins. And he can only manage to get a couple. 2nd and 8 coming up.
Yeah, I don't know if it's exactly a win-win, but if you're on offense, you'll take that kind of a run, all right? It was kind of stacked up, found a little bit of yardage, and frankly, they're pretty close to staying on schedule on offense. The playbook is still open for the coordinator.
Throwing, Sanders.
Over the middle, complete to Judy.
Give him a gain of 5 on the completion. And now that sets up 3rd and 2.
Brings up 3rd and 2.
They'll come to the line, needing only 2 yards to gain the first here.
And they'll go jet sweep to try to pick it up. And he won't be close to a first down as he runs into a wall right around the line of scrimmage. Tough sledding. They lose a yard there on 3rd.
And they try to catch him by surprise there on 3rd down, but this defense, they were all over the jet sweep.
And it's oftentimes all about what you're doing on the backside of the defense, whether it's the defensive end or the outside backer, who's setting the edge. And if they don't get blown off the line of scrimmage, they can really wreck a play. And in this case, they were able to make the tackle for a loss as a result.
The Browns unable to move the chains on 4th down. And that will force a turnover on downs. Looking to put a drive together.
On the ground, it's Scatterby to start the drive. Across midfield.
And finally brought down at the 38. A big hitter. That one goes for 40 yards. We've seen him break off a big run already in this game, and for a second, that one looked like it might be another.
Yeah, I think that any defense would say, look, we can't let him get to the 2nd level, because sometimes he'll break off the big run on his own, but oftentimes you get additional blocking at the 2nd level, which gets you deeper into the secondary.
On play action, here's Dart.
And he's taken down. This will be a Brown sack. The corner blitz gets there as he goes down for a loss of 7.
So a nice bounce back there defensively after giving up the big play.
Yeah, you can either get down on yourself or you can get motivated. And that time, they dropped him for a loss. So I would say that they got motivated and made the play.
Well, they run the option on 2nd down.
Past the 20. And he will be taken down, but not before he gets this to the Browns' 14-yard line. A big-time gain there on the keeper, using his legs to hurt him. First down.
What a run there. I mean, you got speed, elusiveness, escapability, all rolled into one.
And we all know that quarterbacks are coached. They get the ball to the guys who can do all the things you just described. You want those guys who have speed, elusiveness, and escapability all rolled into one with the ball in their hands, and guess what? It's him. So there's no sense in throwing it or handing it off when you can do all of that yourself.
That's the danger, Charles, of running plays like this for your wide receiver. They can hit big or they can be duds.
Yeah, you're exactly right about that, because if they're forced to try and go around defenders behind the line of scrimmage, sometimes you can give yardage in order to gain it. But in this case, they gave yardage and didn't get it back.
That's good. The completion there for 7 yards. And now 3rd down and 6 to go.
3rd and 6.
They are in need of 6 yards here if they hope to move the chains. Here's Dart.
He'll try and do this himself, and he will take it on in for a giant touchdown. Jackson Dart, a 9-yard touchdown run. And they are able to add on to their advantage.
And this is a balancing act for a head coach with a rookie quarterback. You've got to walk a line with it. You don't want him getting happy feet, but you also don't want to rein in what worked for him in college. And here, he pulls it down, takes it himself, and takes it into the end zone.
Gano the extra point, and his guys will take a 10-point lead. Gano now following the touchdown here to kick it away. And they'll get him down inside the 30 to 27. And now Cleveland geared up to take the field. They've got some stuff to build on from that last drive because they moved the football, CD, and then they tried to go for it on 4th down, didn't convert, probably left a bitter taste in their mouths.
I would say so, and I think that they go out in this series determined for that not to happen again. In fact, they don't even want to get to a 4th down opportunity. They just want to make sure they get it done within the parameters that they've set for themselves. Run their offense, get it into the end zone. Yeah, I think a little bit of determination and a dash of anger.
Dexter Lawrence picks up his 2nd sack of the afternoon. Protection certainly going to need to be a bit better here on 2nd and 16. Now Sanders. Oh, it's a screen pass. That's complete. Oh, heck of a move. Man. He's up in it after a gain of 4 up to the 25-yard line.
Good reactions there defensively. That screen was a little slow in developing, and they shut that one down with little gain.
This offense in desperate need of a conversion as they come up on 3rd down. To throw is Sanders. And that will be incomplete.
Looks like another empty possession offensively. And you're at that point in the game where you can't afford too many more of these. So this is going to require some heavy thinking on the sideline to figure out what they can do to crack this defense.
The Browns send out their punter now as he'll punt it away for the 4th time today. A good kick, 49 yards, just 3 on the return. And it will be 1st and 10 as they take over. The Giants going to take over again on offense. And it's a unit last drive that did it all on the ground, Charles.
And they controlled it from the interior. Big on big, right? Offensive lineman versus defensive lineman. But you know, in order to keep the football moving downfield, other people have to get involved as well. Your wide receivers, your tight ends, lead runners, anything that you have possible to get in front and keep the ball moving.
Now the defense may be looking out for a pass coming up. The 71 yards now on the ground on just 7 carries. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I think they had 3 tight ends in on that set.
And these guys are punching really well. I use boxing analogies a lot. A lot of coaches have told me that when you line up to run the football, it's 10 fistfights along the line of scrimmage, right? You've got to win your share. These 3 tight ends, they almost always win their fistfights.
Just about every quarterback is trained to really look downfield first before you come back and make a nice, safe throw. And in this case, that's exactly what he did. Found his running back, let him create some space, and it turned out to be a nice play for the offense.
And tackled down after a gain of 3. Leaves him with 1 yard to go on 3rd down.
Well, partner, they've been running it well the entire game, and the big guys up front, they're a huge reason why. And now they're reaping the benefits as they continue to open up big holes and gain nice yardage.
Heavy set out there on 3rd and 1. They'll try and sneak it here. And he will have a Giants 1st down as they're able to get the 3rd down conversion.
And the Giants 1st down.
We have played 3 quarters. We'll return. return with more after this break. You're watching the NFL on EA Sports. Welcome back now here in East Rutherford. It's the Giants with the football and also the lead as we get set to start quarter number 4.
Off the play fake, it's Dart.
And that is incomplete. He couldn't hold on through the contact. Brings up second down.
I see the surprise in your face there, partner. That is a rare incompletion from him. He's been on point this entire game.
He has percentage completion-wise way up. Not that time. An incomplete pass on first down. That leads to a 2nd and 10.
Dart going to give to Scatterbury.
And he's going to take this down close to a first down at the Browns' 35. That'll leave them with a 3rd and 2 coming up. They got 8 yards there.
Brandon, I've got to think this offensive line has got some smiles on its faces. And I know it sounds crazy, but they practiced for this back in training camp. They knew they'd be in situations where it'd be extra defenders in the box coming after them, trying to keep them from locking down a game. Right now, they want to show the world they're up to the challenge.
And hold on here, because on that last run, it looks like we have a player who was shaken up.
We'll get an update when we return to MetLife Stadium. So they'll come up 1st and 10 now from the 33.
Now he'll try to run with this.
And they move this all the way down to the 9. A big-time gain there on the keeper, using his legs to hurt him. First down.
Well, I tell you, there is no antidote for speed, even at the quarterback position, as he keeps it himself and turns it into good yardage.
And it still takes time for a defender to react, even as quarterbacks carry the ball more and more in today's NFL. They're still a little bit in disbelief and realize, oh my goodness, he's running with the ball. He may be 8, 10, 12 yards downfield at that point.
They'll say no gain on the play, and it'll be 2nd and goal.
Brandon, one thing about blitzes, they really confuse offensive linemen at times, and what you have to do is lock in on the guy right in front of you. If you don't, you saw the end result. Defensive tackle ended up making the play.
On the handoff, this is Scatterbury.
And once again, he'll get possibly back to the line of scrimmage, but no more than that. Call it no gain that time, and now it's 3rd and goal. So stuff for no gain on 2nd down brings up a pretty interesting 3rd from this distance.
I'm throwing the ball, and I'm not even thinking about play pass. I'm going to let them know right away I'm throwing it, but I'm probably giving my quarterback some room, sprint him out to one side or the other.
Touchdown! Rondale Robinson from 8 yards out. And the Giants are an extra point away from making this a 3-score game. He has really settled in throwing the football, and that touchdown here in the 4th quarter gives him a pretty comfortable cushion.
He may be a rookie, but he's playing like 4th quarter, and the QB is easy. How about this guy? Youngster, not worried about anything, just cutting it loose and having fun.
Gano now following the touchdown here to kick it away. Oh, a dangerous return man showing it here. And they finally get to him out near midfield, but he's all the way across the 45 to the 46. Heading out as the Cleveland offense now as they get set to take over here.
See if they can put this drive in the end zone, Charles, because it's been a little bit of a rough go at times. They've had to punt the football a ton in this ball game because of stalled-out drives.
So are you saying that you're kind of tired of seeing the punter run out there and do his thing during this game? Is that what you're trying to say?
Well, I mean, I'm okay with it. I have a feeling that this offense, they don't want to see the punter again.
And frankly, the punter doesn't want to run out there anymore himself. He'd love to see his offense put together a drive and give his leg a rest.
So after the run for no gain, here's 2nd and 10.
Sanders to throw.
And he can't get away from the pressure. The Giants get there. And we're going the books as a 7-yard loss on the sack. And it's 3rd down.
And you hate to say it with a rookie quarterback. He's done some good things, but overall, looked a little bit overwhelmed back there, hasn't he?
He certainly has. But in his defense, he hasn't had a lot of time to throw the football. You like the way I said that? In his defense.
In his defense. I got it.
You see what I did there?
He needs better protection, that's for sure.
They lead big, and a major part of that has been how they've taken their play to a whole new level this second half. No points allowed since the break, and you can add another incompletion to the total number that they forced in this runaway contest.
And they're indeed going to go for it here on 4th down. So trailing here in the last quarter, let's see how this plays out.
This one downfield for Tillman. And that's going to be incomplete.
The Browns unable to move the chains on 4th down. And the Giants are going to take over in great field position.
They'll run from the gun with Scotty.
And the second wave of tacklers is going to get him as they stop him behind the line. A loss of a full 3 yards, and now it's 2nd down. Run blitz there defensively, something we might see more of here in the 4th quarter.
I think we'll see a lot of it, and the difference between that and a pass blitz, you're just trying to get to the quarterback. You're trying to scheme someone open who will get to the QB and make sure he gets on the ground. In a run blitz, you're actually trying to cover up gaps, trying to cover up holes so they can't run the football.
The result, only 4 yards there on the play. And that's going to set up a tough 3rd and 9.
They gave up the completion there, but this is what zone defenses count on. Catching the ball and not much run after the catch.
Here's Dart.
And that's going to be incomplete. The contact there enough to jar that ball free. And it brings up 4th down.
When you run in the slant, timing is everything, and against that man coverage, there was no space available, and incompletion as a result.
Here's Jamie Gillen now as he's on to punt for New York. And they won't get a chance to bring this one back. It goes out of bounds, back near their own 20.
Ready to take over again on offense. Out comes Cleveland. Even though they were able to force the punt defensively, still a big hole to climb out of, especially at this late stage of the contest.
Looking to put a drive together.
To throw now, here's Sanders.
Can't get away, and he's taken down. Dexter Lawrence getting him once again, his 3rd sack of the afternoon.
It has been a rough afternoon for him trying to get rid of the football. See, that's now 5 sacks.
How'd you like to be the offensive coordinator, the offensive line coach trying to come up with an answer for this pass rush? What blocking assignments do you change? Can guys play a little bit better? And we're seeing the end result on the scoreboard. Long day in the pocket for their quarterback.
They get 16 out of that one, but they'll still need to convert on 3rd. Those short little routes probably going to be open. The defense, they'll let those happen, especially when they can make an inbounds tackle.
Yeah, where's Coach Madden when you need him? He always talked about taking what the defense gives you, but sometimes you have to know when you have to take more. That was one of those situations.
And that is incomplete.
Well, he's smart enough to avoid the taunting rule, but I'm guaranteeing he quietly has told them, you might want to stop coming after me downfield because I just broke up another pass and took away a big shot that you were trying to succeed with.
All right, they're going to try and keep hope alive here on 4th down. They're going for it. They'll go with the keeper. And he'll be touched out here, but not before he does pick up the first. No reason not to try it there, and they do indeed convert on fourth.
The more and more that we broadcast games, the more I realize how much this game is about the eyes. And in this case, they got fooled because the defense was checking out the eyes of the back, thinking he was getting the ball. Should have been looking at the QB, shouldn't they?
A little bit of a surprise. And the giant rush gets home as down he goes. Dexter Lawrence. Who else? He's in there for his fourth sack of the afternoon.
I don't know what else can be said about this pass rush. They have been sensational. CD, that is now 6 sacks for them.
And how many times do we talk to offensive coordinators? They say a sack is a result of everyone on offense not doing their job. But let's be honest about this one. This is the offensive line unable to counter the pass rush. They've been teeing off all game long.
And that'll fall incomplete. He was hit just as he let that go. And now it's third down.
We've seen this quite a few times in this game. Offensive line unable to keep leverage, unable to keep people away, facing a lot of pressure. Fortunate just to get rid of it.
One of the reasons they're down is that inability, though, to stop the pressure. We saw another example of it there.
Well, throw here right sideline falls incomplete.
Well, the trials and tribulations of being a quarterback in this league, it's tough. It's got to be wearing on him out there.
Well, he has been sacked a number of times. He had an interception, so I'm going to give him a skosh of credit for hanging in there and trying to make something happen, despite the amount of pressure he's been under this entire game.
They'll go. Here's Sanders. This one downfield for Tillman.
And it's incomplete. They cannot convert, and they turn it over. The Browns unable to move the chains on fourth down. And it'll be a turnover on downs. In motion left, Robinson.
Now they show jet sweep, but instead a run up the middle here.
And he stopped immediately there. Credit him with a 1-yard gain there to make it 2nd and 9.
Well done to sniff that out defensively. He had it diagnosed pretty quickly.
I love that description because diagnosed is perfect on that one. Read his keys, made the play, and he couldn't even get going moving the football.
Give up the middle, Scatterbo.
It's a 4-yard pickup there, and it leaves him with 3rd and 5.
I like it. I like the call. Still an opportunity to run the football and chew up a little more time off the clock.
It looks like a nickel set now for the Browns on 3rd down.
An inside run with Scatterbo.
And brought down, but not before he was able to break the tackle, and the extra effort moves the sticks.
91 yards on the ground for him now as he's done that on 15 carries. And carries like that, that's how they're going to continue to salt this thing away here, Charles, in the 4th quarter.
Yeah, how about that? A new set of downs. Clock continues to move. No better way to close out a game than to tap those mastodons you have up front and say, guys, keep pounding them. Let's keep the ball, keep their offense on the sidelines, and let's close this one out.
Just a yard on the pickup there, and it'll bring up a 2nd and 9.
Let's give a lot of credit to the offensive line. They've been able to move the ball really well on the ground the entire game, and while that wasn't a huge one, that's okay. They'll take them in short, steady bursts.
Well, somebody...